This is fun today. I'm wearing a pink shirt.
Yeah, it looks good on you.
Well, great.
So how you feel? How you feel?
Looks great. I feel
you
great.
look good. How you feel?
Thank you. I look like I feel great.
Yeah.
No, I feel good.
No, but what's been going on with you?
A lot. Life. You know, just dealing with life. There's like this other world that you have to get into once you're done playing. When I thought about my career, I never saw early retirement. I saw playing until it's complete. It was kind of coming out of left field for me, and I had to make some different decisions.
February 11th, 2015. Chris Bosh is averaging 21 points a game for the Miami Heat. The team is playing in Cleveland for the first time since LeBron James returned to the Cavaliers. And despite playing 36 minutes, Bosh is struggling to breathe.
It got so bad, like pretty much my whole left side of my body, I couldn't move it without pain. I went to the doctor's office, they took an x-ray in my chest. He said, yeah, so that's a blood clot. My lung was collapsed, it was bad.
Bosh suffered a pulmonary embolism, which forms when a blood clot travels to the lungs. It affects blood flow to the lungs and heart. It can be fatal.
The way that it was proposed to me was that the next 24 hours, you gotta, let's see. Yeah, and that was kind of some crazy news, and they're putting the oxygen
Let's
things
see
on
what?
me. They're critical, pretty much.
Bosh underwent emergency surgery.
I had these tubes sticking out my chest. I had them in my lungs. They were draining into this machine. And so I would have to walk. They say, yo, you have to walk every day. And I couldn't even probably make it 20 feet without being out of breath.
And when you think about that now, how serious that was, like, what do you think?
That's about it. I was so positive and so happy to be alive.
8 months after the surgery, Bosh made his return at the start of the 2016 season.
I felt great. I was motivated. It was a personal challenge for me because I wanted to prove that I was still one of the best players in the league.
He averaged 19 points a game, and for the 11th consecutive season, earned a spot on the East All-Star team.
I was practicing for the three-point competition, and my calf was sore like the next morning. So I said, man, let me not even mess with this. Let me get it checked out. Let me get an ultrasound, because I was, paranoid pretty much from last year. And I got one, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's a little clot right there.
When you heard blood clot again, what did you think?
You have to understand that it went from being sore in my calf to like, oh, well, you can't play anymore.
Worried about recurring blood clots, the Heat shut Bosh down for the rest of the 2016 season. Doctors prescribed blood thinners.
It's extremely dangerous to play on blood thinners, and that's one of the things that we were trying to figure out. If you get an aneurysm, that's it's a wrap. If you get a bad bruise or something like that, that could be a very huge problem.
3 months after his second blood clot, Bosh watched his former teammate LeBron James lead the Cleveland Cavaliers to their first championship.
It was really, really rough. And the toughest thing with LeBron is like everybody wants to ask me about LeBron all the time. It's like, leave me alone. I'm not even playing basketball right now. Chris, what you think about this in the final? Like, leave me alone. I don't care. I was happy for him, but at the same time, it's like, all right, turn the TV off, I'm gonna go to bed.
A month before the 2017 season, Bosh failed a team physical. The Heat announced that he would not be allowed in training camp. After months of asking the team to change its stance, Bosh finally asked the Heat to release him.
That was the only way I could continue to play. So, it was either waive or medical retirement, and I wasn't ready for medical retirement at the time.
The Heat waived Bosh in July of 2017. 3 months later, a new season began, with Bosh still without a team.
Gets to the cup and lays it in, but Gordon Hayward is hurt.
That ankle is broken.
that pretty much took a lot out of me because at the time I was really, really motivated. I hadn't watched much NBA the year before. And within the first 5 minutes, his ankle was dislocated and it's on live TV. And I hadn't watched any games in like a year. And that's the first thing I saw. So.
Why did that affect you so much?
Because it can happen. I mean, he's a superstar. It's just what hit me, and my intensity wasn't the same. The will to get up and push through things wasn't the same, and I knew I had a lot longer to go.
By that time, Bosh had spent more than a year conducting frequent blood tests in hopes of preventing more blood clots and getting back on the court.
After a while, I just said, man, I just don't want to do this anymore because I'm not even playing. I'm starting to resent the game.
What did that feel like? What were you resenting about the game?
Mentally, I was worn down by trying to play basketball, and that had never happened before. That fire just wasn't there, and I knew it wasn't there. And it was nothing. I couldn't lie to myself. I just got further and further along in identifying where I was and how I felt about it and just how comfortable I was moving on.
On February 12th, Bosh officially announced his plans to retire.
You guys were the first super team
Yeah, I suppose
to
so.
put yourselves together.
Yeah.
Now other teams have tried to do the same thing and are trying to do the same thing. What do you think about the kind of the path that you guys paved for this new look of the NBA?
It's
Good,
interesting because people don't like it.
Some people don't like it.
Some people don't like it. Others do. It's just a new position. But I'm all for players realizing the power that they have.
Dwayne's retiring, you're retiring. LeBron's still kind of going strong. Is he going strong, or are you thinking he might be coming down to the end?
He's going strong. He's set the bar so high that if he averages 25, 8, and 8, that's not enough. After 8 years in the finals, people have gotten jaded by his greatness, obviously. For the first time in almost 15 years, he can get rest and really fully reset and get a whole off season. So I think you'll probably see something you've never seen before from him next year.
What do you want your legacy to be as a basketball player? Hall of Fame?
Yeah. I told people I was making the Hall of Fame like 10 years ago. They looked at me like I was crazy. I've done some things only a small amount of people that have ever lived have done, and I take pride in that.
That's your humble brag.
Yeah, that's my humble one. 11 All-Stars in a row. And I never, ever say that stuff, but it's true because if you don't tell people, they'll forget. I do consider myself to be one of the greatest to ever play the game.